Hey everyone, welcome back to another video, and in today's video I'm going to be ranking Season 1 through 7 of Star Wars The Clone Wars. Let's get right into it. Alright boys, straight off the bat we have Star Wars The Clone Wars Season 1. Now, this season's pretty good. Yeah, I wouldn't say... Now I'm debating whether or not I should put it in A tier, because this is the Rookies art. So I'm not sure if I should put it in A or B tier, because a lot of the other episodes were boring, but it does have a few really good arcs, if you know what I mean. But I think I'm gonna have to leave it in B tier for now, just because there are so many other seasons that are really, really good. Alright boys, next up we got Clone Wars Season 2. Now, I'm gonna have to drop this one into A tier. Not because any individual arc is better than the Rookies, because I don't think any arcs in this season are better than the Rookies, but it just has so much, you know? It has a ton of really good arcs, and it's just really entertaining season. You open up with Cad Bane in his Holocron heist arc, where, you know, he tries to steal the Holocron and he takes children that are force sensitive and tries to raise them for Sidious. He gets thwarted, of course, but that is a great arc, which leads right up into the Geonosia arc. But they find worms and a worm queen, and the worms can actually infect you and make you almost like a zombie-like individual. And so what happens is, after they take down a big droid factory, Ahsoka and Barriss Offee, they go back to their ship, and on their way to a medical station, Barriss Offee gets infected with one of the parasites, and so Ahsoka has to, you know, not get infected and somehow get the parasite out of Barriss. Very entertaining. There's also the Zillo Beast arc in this, and they do go to Mandalore. The only misses, I think, are the the Boba Fett arc in this, where he tries to kill Mace Windu, which I didn't really like. And maybe the cat and mouse was kind of boring, because it was just, you know, flying ships, but some people find that really entertaining. So, A tier overall, not S tier. Didn't have many S tier arcs in it, so you can't really put that in S tier. So, Season 3, So Season 3 starts off pretty slowly, but it quickly ramps up because the Night Sisters come in Episode 12. Episode 13, Monster, is where Savage Opress comes into play. They try to kill Dooku, you know, fail. Then after that is the Mortis arc, which, if you don't know, is when Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka get sucked into like a Force Nexus planet. It doesn't appear on any radars. They basically disappear for, well, what seems to be a minute, but to them is really days. The father, the son, and the sister are really powerful beings in the Force, and, well, the father and the sister end up dying by the brother, which is, you know, it's really sad. And it turns out to be one of the greatest arcs in this show. So that, coupled with the Citadel, which happens later in this same season, and then Padawan Lost, I think Season 3 might be our first S tier. I think it's going to have to go in S tier. Alright boys, next up we have Season 4. Now, this might be the second S tier. It is a great season in total. Like, when you take into consideration everything that was released in this season, it is one of the best seasons, if not the best. This might actually be better than Season 3, which I put into S tier. Now, it starts off with Water War. Pretty good arc, but, you know, overrated, in my opinion, by a lot of people. We then have the 2 droid episodes, which are pretty boring. But then we have the Darkness on Umbara arc, which is, again, top 5 arcs on the entire show. And then it's followed up by Kidnapped, which is followed up by Deception, which is followed up by Crisis on Naboo, and then Massacre. In case you don't know, Deception is where Obi-Wan disguises his face. And it's basically just like a long infiltration plot. And then Massacre is when all the Dathomirian witches die. And then it's Bounty, then Brothers, then Revenge, which is Bounty is Ventress, being a bounty hunter for the first time. Really interesting episode. Then we get Brothers. Savage Opress goes on his quest to find Maul. And then Revenge. Savage and Darth Maul seek revenge against Obi-Wan. Pretty goated season in my opinion. I believe this is the other S tier. I could be wrong and I might change my rankings as we go through the video, but this is going to have to be S tier. Alright, I hate to say it, but Season 5 might have to be in B tier. Now, it has 3 pretty good arcs, 3 really good arcs, which is the Darth Maul, the Obi-Wan / Mandalorian, and the Ahsoka arc, where Ahsoka is accused falsely of, planting bombs in the Jedi Temple. Now, that is some people's favorite arc, the Ahsoka arc, but I don't think it's enough to carry this season past B tier, because in between all those episodes is a mid Alderaan plot, a mid gathering where the Jedi younglings, you follow Jedi younglings, another mid episode, mid arc actually, a whole arc, dude, where you follow droids. It's just annoying for straight 8 to 10 episodes. Then you have 10 good episodes. So for you to decide ultimately, but for me it's gonna have to be in B tier. Alright boys, I might actually have to move one of these two down. I'm gonna have to move Season 3 down to A tier because I need to make room for Season 6. Now, I completely forgot all the crazy arcs that are in this season. But this season has the conspiracy arc with Fives, finding out about the inhibitor chips and about Order 66, but ultimately is killed and can't tell anyone, sadly. It also has Rush Clovis in it, and I love his arc, and I love seeing Anakin kind of turning towards the dark side slowly, as Rush Clovis is seen with Padme more. You have the Disappeared, it's a pretty good arc. It's not my top 10, but it is a pretty good arc. And then the final arc of the season is the Lost Ones, I believe the arc is called, where Yoda seeks out, I think it's the Wills. Yeah, Yoda seeks out the Wills of the Force to, become a Force ghost when he dies, and he follows Qui-Gon's voice to different planets. It's really interesting. So, for those reasons, that is going to be the second S tier as opposed to Season 3. Now, the final season, Season 7, I'm going to have to put it in low B tier. Now, I was debating on putting it in C tier. I might actually put it above Season 5, I think. But Season 7, man, they shot and they hit with some episodes and missed with the whole Martez arc. The Bad Batch series, came out of this, which is pretty okay, but the Bad Batch arc was kind of meh. It wasn't too bad, but it wasn't that good either. And the final Siege on Mandalore arc is the only reason why this is in B tier instead of C tier, because the whole Bad Batch plus the Martez arc is just that brings it down to C tier, maybe even D tier, because the Martez sisters are really annoying. But they bring it back really hard with the Siege on Mandalore, which is the last arc of the entire series. It's a great arc that shows the clones turning against Ahsoka, and it's really sad to see all of them die, and she tries to save as many as possible, but is ultimately only able to save Rex. Better Rex than none of them, though. So, it's one of the best arcs in the series. Probably top 5 as well. But it can only save this season so much. I'm going to have to put it in B tier. I'm actually going to slide it above season 5. But I don't think it can go into A tier. Just because of the 2 arcs that are 1 mid and 2 really bad. So those were my Clone Wars Season 1 through 7 rankings. If you do have different rankings, or if you heavily disagree with me, please comment, tell me all about that. Otherwise, like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Later.